There is something happening inside your grocery store that the industry desperately does not want you to understand. Every single week, millions of American families walk through those automatic sliding doors, push their carts down carefully engineered aisles, and walk back out having surrendered money they didn't need to spend on products that are quietly, systematically worse than what they could have chosen instead. This isn't paranoia. This isn't fringe consumer activism. This is documented, peer-reviewed, financially quantifiable reality. And the number one item on this list, something sitting in nearly every household's refrigerator or pantry right now, carries a markup of 4,000%. 4,000. And recent scientific research suggests it may be actively introducing microscopic plastic particles into your body at rates far higher than the free alternative already available in your own home. We'll get there. But first, understand the architecture of what you're walking into. Grocery stores are not neutral environments. They are precision-engineered revenue extraction systems, designed floor-to-ceiling by behavioral scientists, retail psychologists, and marketing strategists whose singular professional objective is to separate you from your money as efficiently as possible. The lighting, the music tempo, the height at which products are placed on shelves, the synthetic aromas pumped through the ventilation system, none of it is coincidence. All of it is deliberate. All of it is aimed directly at you. The average American household is hemorrhaging over $1,500 every single year inside these stores. Not through laziness, not through stupidity, but because the manipulation is sophisticated, invisible, and relentlessly effective. What follows is a countdown of the worst offenders. 17 items, each one designed to look like a smart decision, each one quietly working against your health, your wallet, or both. Some of the markups will make you physically uncomfortable. Some of the health details won't leave you alone, and by the time we reach number 1, you will never look at that product the same way again. Let's begin. 117. Bottled salad dressing. Walk past the salad dressing aisle, and the sheer volume of options feels like abundance. Ranch, Caesar, balsamic vinaigrette, honey mustard, thousands of varieties across hundreds of brands. What it actually represents is one of the most efficient markup operations in the entire store. A standard 16-ounce bottle of name-brand salad dressing costs $4 to $6. The primary ingredients, oil, vinegar, salt, and a handful of dried herbs, cost approximately 0.40 cents to 70 cents to assemble yourself. You are paying 8 to 12 times more for the privilege of not shaking 4 ingredients together in a jar. But the cost isn't even the most alarming part. Commercial salad dressings routinely contain high fructose corn syrup, artificial emulsifiers, and sodium levels that border on extraordinary, particularly in low-fat versions, where removed fat is compensated for by aggressive additions of sugar and salt. A single 2-tablespoon serving of some commercial ranch dressings contains more sodium than a serving of potato chips. People pour 3 or 4 servings on a salad and call it a health decision. A homemade vinaigrette, olive oil, apple cider vinegar, a pinch of salt, a half teaspoon of Dijon, takes 45 seconds to produce, costs pennies, and contains exactly what you put in it, nothing more. 16. Grocery store vitamins and supplements. The supplement section of a modern grocery store has expanded dramatically over the past decade, and the pricing logic operating inside it is genuinely breathtaking. A standard bottle of vitamin C tablets from a major grocery store brand can cost $18 to $24 for 90 tablets. The identical formulation, same milligrams, same bioavailability, from a reputable warehouse retailer or online supplier, $6 to $80 for 250 tablets. The markup exists entirely because of placement. You're in the store, the product is there. The packaging uses clinical-looking fonts and reassuring language about immune support. The transaction happens. What makes this worse is the regulatory vacuum surrounding supplements. The FDA does not evaluate most supplement claims before products hit shelves. The phrase "supports immune health" requires no clinical evidence to print on a label. Consumers paying premium prices for premium-looking supplements have no guaranteed mechanism ensuring that what's on the label accurately reflects what's inside the bottle. If you take supplements, buy from third-party certified sources. If you're buying them at full grocery store markup without checking alternatives, you are likely paying 2 to 4 times more than necessary for a product with no verified superiority. 15. Flavored sparkling water. This one feels harmless. It feels like a responsible choice. It is neither. A 112-pack of branded flavored sparkling water typically costs $6 to $9 at major grocery chains. Per can, that's 0.50 cents to tallage 75 cents. A home carbonation device costs $70 to $100 as a one-time purchase. And the CO2 cartridges that power it produce sparkling water at a cost of roughly 0.03 to 0.05 per liter. The payback period on the device, measured against regular sparkling water purchases, is typically under 3 months. But there is a more pressing issue that almost no one talks about. Many flavored sparkling waters, including brands marketed with aggressive health positioning, contain citric acid as a flavoring agent. Citric acid, consumed regularly and in contact with tooth enamel, is an erosive compound. Dental researchers have documented measurable enamel degradation in regular consumers of acidic sparkling beverages, including varieties with no sugar whatsoever. The beverage doesn't need to be sweet to damage your teeth. It needs to be acidic, and many of them are. You're paying a significant premium for a product that may be quietly compromising your dental health while feeling virtuous about skipping soda. 14. Bagged salad kits. Here is where things start getting genuinely outrageous, and we're only at number 14. A pre-assembled salad kit. The ones with the shredded lettuce, the foil dressing packet, and a small bag of croutons costs $5 to $7 per unit at virtually every major chain. Pull that kit apart and price its components individually. One small head of lettuce, a tablespoon of dressing, a handful of croutons. You are looking at under $2. The markup on these kits routinely exceeds 200 to 300% compared to assembling the equivalent from whole ingredients. That financial reality alone should be alarming. But here is what the glossy packaging will never tell you. The moment leafy vegetables are mechanically shredded and sealed inside a plastic bag, a biological clock starts ticking that cannot be stopped. Cutting accelerates oxidation. Oxidation degrades vitamin C. It degrades texture. It degrades flavor. The bag of pre-shredded salads sitting in the refrigerated display case may have been processed 3, 4, or 5 days before you picked it up. And every hour since has been a slow deterioration of the very nutritional value you were presumably buying it for. The dressing packets make this worse. Most are architecturally designed for shelf stability rather than nutritional quality. High sodium, added sugars, and a list of stabilizers that reads more like a chemistry syllabus than a food label. Whole head of romaine. One purchase. Wash it, wrap it in a dry cloth, refrigerate it, and it stays crisp and nutritionally intact for the better part of a week, for less than half the price of the bag that started degrading on day 1. 13. Flavored instant oatmeal packets. The marketing on these products is almost impressively dishonest. A box of 10 individually portioned flavored oatmeal packets, branded as a quick and wholesome breakfast option, costs $4 to $5. A 42-ounce canister of plain rolled oats from the same store costs exactly the same amount and yields 25 to 30 full servings. You are paying 2 to 3 times more per serving for the portioned version, and what you receive in exchange for that premium is not better nutrition. It is categorically worse nutrition. Flavored instant oatmeal packets typically deliver 10 to 15 grams of added sugar per single serving. Several popular varieties exceed that. The American Heart Association recommends no more than 25 grams of added sugar per day for women, 36 for men. One packet of maple brown sugar oatmeal can consume nearly half of a woman's entire daily recommended sugar budget before 8 a.m. Plain rolled oats contain 0 added sugar. They require 5 minutes on a stovetop. You add what you want: real fruit, a measured drizzle of honey, a pinch of cinnamon, and you know with absolute certainty what went into your bowl. The flavored packet is sold as a health decision. The sugar content classifies it more accurately as a dessert delivery vehicle in cardboard packaging. 12. Individual yogurt cups. This one is quietly one of the most aggressive unit price manipulations in the entire store, and almost nobody notices it. Greek yogurt in individual single-serve cups prices out at $14 to $17 per pound when you calculate the actual unit cost. The same brand, same product, same exact ingredients, in a large family-sized tub, $4 to $5 per pound, up to 4 times more money for food that is chemically, nutritionally, and bacteriologically identical. Same protein, same cultures, same taste. The only difference is the amount of plastic surrounding it. There is another detail that deserves more attention than it gets. Large containers turn over faster on store shelves because more people buy them. That means when you reach into the refrigerator case, the large tub is likely newer than the multi-pack of individual cups, which may have been sitting at the back of the display for considerably longer. You are paying 4 times the price for a product that is potentially older, packaged in 5 to 6 times more plastic per serving, and nutritionally identical to the cheaper version 2 feet away on the same shelf. The solution costs $6, a set of small reusable containers. Portion it yourself. The entire problem disappears. If this breakdown is already changing how you think about your grocery cart, and wait until you see what's coming in the top 10, hit that subscribe button right now and leave a comment below telling us which item surprised you most. Like this video so more people can find this information, because the grocery industry is counting on most consumers never seeing it. 11 single-serve snack packs. The numbers here are so straightforward that they're almost insulting. A multi-pack of individually portioned crackers, 10 or 12 small pouches sealed inside a larger box, typically costs $7 to $9 for roughly 8 to 10 ounces of product. The family-sized bag of the exact same crackers, same brand, same factory, same recipe, $4 to $5 for 28 to 30 ounces. On a per-ounce basis, the single-serve version costs 5 to 6 times more. Not slightly more, not meaningfully more. 5 to 6 times more for food that is, without any exception whatsoever, physically identical to the cheaper version. Same ingredients, same taste, same nutritional content. The only thing you are purchasing extra is the act of subdivision, the fact that someone in a packaging facility split it into smaller bags before it arrived at the store. The global snack food market is approaching $700 billion and growing at over 4% annually. Single-serve packaging is one of the most powerful profit engines in that system, not because it adds value, but because it commands a premium that consumers consistently fail to calculate while standing in the snack aisle. Buy the large bag. Buy 4 small reusable containers. Portion it when you get home. The entire premium evaporates. Households relying on single-serve packaging are estimated to spend $600 to $900 more per year than those who don't. Over a decade, that number becomes genuinely significant. 10. Pre-cut fruits and vegetables. 2 items sitting 3 feet apart in the produce section. A whole pineapple, $2.99. The same pineapple, peeled, cored, and sliced into a plastic container, $5.49. An 83% price increase for approximately 4 minutes of knife work. Pre-cut produce carries an average markup of 40% or more industry-wide. Across a full year of regular pre-cut purchasing, a household pays several $100s more for labor that costs the store a negligible amount per container. But the money is not even the most alarming part of this equation. The moment any produce item is cut, its nutritional clock begins running down at an accelerated rate. Exposure to air degrades vitamin C. Light degrades certain B vitamins. The cut surfaces dry and oxidize. Pre-cut produce spoils measurably faster than its whole equivalent, meaning you are paying more for food that is nutritionally inferior and less shelf-stable than what you could have bought whole and prepped yourself. The frozen aisle is your greatest weapon here, and one of the grocery industry's lowest margin categories, which is precisely why it receives the least promotional attention. Frozen fruits and vegetables are harvested at peak ripeness and flash frozen within hours, locking in vitamins and texture at levels that frequently exceed what you'd get from pre-cut produce that's been sitting in a refrigerated display case for 3 days. They cost 40 to 60% less. They last for months. The industry doesn't want you spending your money there, which is exactly where you should be spending more of it. 9. Name brand spices. A major brand jar of smoked paprika at a conventional grocery chain, $3.79 for 2.5 ounces. The same spice at a nearby Middle Eastern or South Asian grocery store, frequently under 50 cents for the same quantity. That is a price differential approaching 700%. The markup alone is scandalous. But there is a second problem hiding behind the pretty label. Those attractively designed jars on grocery store shelves have often spent 6 months to 2 years inside a supply chain before reaching your hand. Spices are not inert. They contain volatile aromatic compounds that dissipate continuously over time. A jar of paprika that has been sitting in a warehouse and then on a store shelf for 18 months is delivering a fraction of the flavor potency its label implies. You are paying a 700% premium for a product that may be performing at 30% of its theoretical capacity. Ethnic specialty grocery stores turn their spice inventory over in weeks. The product is fresher, the quantity is larger, and the price is dramatically lower. Whole spices, cumin seeds, coriander seeds, whole peppercorns, retain their potency for years and cost a fraction of pre-ground versions. The arithmetic on spice purchasing is one of the easiest wins on this entire list. 8. Specialty diet labeled foods. This is the point in the list where grocery store marketing crosses from opportunistic into something closer to predatory. A jar of keto-labeled peanut butter at a major chain, approximately $11 for 16 ounces. Ingredients: peanuts, salt. Conventional natural peanut butter from the same store. Same ingredients, same macronutrient profile. Same everything. 3,79 for the same size. The word keto-friendly on the label added 7,72 cents to the price. It changed nothing about the food inside the container. This pattern repeats across the entire specialty diet section with nauseating consistency. Paleo-approved crackers. Whole30 compliant marinara. Clean-eating granola. Every single one of these descriptions applies equally to conventional products already on nearby shelves. Products that carry neither the dietary framework branding nor the associated price premium. Here is what the specialty diet industry does not want you to realize. Keto is not a product line. Paleo is not a brand. They are nutritional frameworks defined by specific criteria, and whole, conventional foods have always met those criteria without requiring a certified label. Eggs are keto, plain chicken is paleo, tomatoes with no additives are Whole30 compliant. The specialty diet food market grew over 40% in just 2 years, fueled not by superior nutrition, but by the anxiety of committed dieters who have been conditioned to seek packaging that signals compliance. Read the ingredient list on the back. Ignore everything on the front. The gap between the labeled version and the unlabeled version is almost always pure marketing. You are now deep into the list, and the items coming up carry some of the largest annual costs of anything we've covered. If you haven't subscribed yet, do it now and drop a comment below with how much you think you've been spending on any of these categories. Like this video because what's coming in the top 5 needs to reach as many people as possible. 7. Superfood products. The FDA has never defined, approved, or regulated the term superfood. It is not a scientific designation. It is not a nutritional category. It carries no legal standard of evidence whatsoever. Any manufacturer, at any time, can print the word superfood on any package and charge whatever premium the market will tolerate. Thousands of them do, and the market tolerates a great deal. The use of superfood in consumer food marketing has increased by over 300% in 4 years. That explosion has nothing to do with new scientific breakthroughs. It has everything to do with the discovery that the word dramatically increases the price consumers are willing to pay. Goji berries retail at $12 to $14 for an 8-ounce bag at major US stores, over $24 per pound. Cultivated blueberries, backed by one of the most extensive bodies of antioxidant research of any food on Earth, sell for $3 to $5 per pound. In China, where goji berries have been consumed as an ordinary dietary staple for centuries, they are a cheap, unremarkable market item. The superfood premium that multiplies their cost when repackaged for Western consumers is not nutritional science. It is branding applied to cultural unfamiliarity. Dark leafy greens, berries, legumes, whole grains. The foods with the most rigorous long-term research behind them are sitting quietly in the most ordinary corners of the produce section. Not marketed as superfoods, not sold at exotic premiums, and they have been sustaining human health reliably for thousands of years. 6. Organic everything. The organic instinct comes from a real place. The data behind it is sobering. The Environmental Working Group's annual pesticide analysis has found that approximately 95% of sampled conventional produce contains detectable pesticide residues. Strawberries alone have tested for as many as 23 separate chemical compounds on a single piece of fruit, even after washing. The concern driving organic purchasing is not irrational, but here is what the $52 billion organic industry prefers you not know. The same research found that nearly 65% of the Clean 15 items, avocados, sweet corn, pineapple, and similar produce, showed no detectable pesticide residue at all. For these products, the organic label provides zero measurable benefit to what ends up in your body. You are paying a 20% or higher premium for certification that changes absolutely nothing about the food's actual chemical profile. One further detail deserves alarm. 4 of the 5 most commonly detected residues on high-risk produce are fungicides applied post-harvest, not to grow the plant but to preserve its store appearance. These compounds are under active ongoing study for potential effects on thyroid function and reproductive health. This tells you exactly where your organic budget belongs. Spend it on the dirty dozen. Strawberries, spinach, kale, peaches, pears. Buy conventional for the clean 15. Applied consistently, this single strategic shift reduces organic spending by 40 to 50%, with no meaningful change to your actual pesticide exposure. The industry's profits depend on consumers not making this distinction. 5. Pre-marinated meat. 2 versions of the same chicken thigh, sitting 4 feet apart in the same refrigerated case. Plain, $4.49 per pound. Honey chipotle, sealed in a marinade tray, $7.29 per pound. A 62% price increase for approximately 30 to 50 cents worth of sauce and seasoning applied to an identical piece of chicken. That is the financial picture, and it is already infuriating. But there is a second dimension to this product category that grocery stores have enormous financial incentive never to discuss. Commercial marinades are architecturally sophisticated concealment tools. They contain color-enhancing compounds, modified starches, flavor additives, preservatives, and, above all else, sodium in quantities that border on medically relevant. Many commercially marinated chicken products deliver 700 to 900 milligrams of sodium per serving. The American Heart Association's recommended daily ceiling is 2,300 milligrams. A single serving of some pre-marinated products clears more than a third of that limit before any other food of the day has been consumed. The sodium is not incidental. It functions as a preservative, a flavor amplifier, and a compound that triggers appetite responses. It is, from a profit standpoint, doing almost exactly what the manufacturer needs it to do. But the deepest concern goes further still. 4. What pre-marinated meat is actually concealing? A former grocery store meat department manager described the commercial reality without ambiguity. Pre-marinated products are regularly used to move cuts approaching their sell-by date. Dense seasoning, aggressive salt content, and color-enhancing additives mask the subtle shifts in smell and appearance that would, on an unmarked cut, immediately communicate age to a paying consumer. The vivid gloss and vibrant color of a pre-marinated tray are partly seasoning. They are also, in documented practice, partly concealment. When you prepare a marinade in your own kitchen, olive oil, garlic, and acid, whatever herbs are available, you know with absolute certainty what every ingredient is. When you purchase the pre-marinated version, you are trusting an ingredient list that frequently includes compounds engineered to sound more natural than their function suggests. The cumulative picture. You are paying 60% more, consuming dramatically elevated sodium, accepting diminished transparency about actual ingredients, and potentially purchasing meat that is closer to expiration than you would willingly choose, in exchange for saving 3 to 5 minutes of mixing. A homemade marinade takes under 5 minutes, costs a fraction of the marked-up version, and tastes measurably better because its ingredients are fresh rather than processed for shelf stability. 3. Energy drinks and specialty coffee. This one operates on a different axis than everything above it. The individual transaction feels minor. The annual accumulation is genuinely alarming. One energy drink from the grocery store, $3.29 to $4.50. One specialty cold brew or cafe coffee on the commute, $5 to $6. Purchasing both 3 or 4 times per week produces a monthly beverage bill of $100 to $130 before a single food item has been purchased. Annual total, $1,200 to $1,500. Over 5 years, that figure represents a meaningful portion of an emergency fund spent on beverages. Now the health dimension. A standard energy drink contains 54 to 80 grams of sugar in a single can. That figure exceeds the American Heart Association's entire recommended daily limit for women and approaches double the limit for men in one beverage. The $22 billion energy drink industry has wrapped this reality in language about natural caffeine, B vitamins, and clean energy, terminology specifically chosen to activate health-conscious purchasing instincts while delivering a sugar payload that would be scandalous if printed plainly on the front of the can. The coffee markup tells a parallel story. A 40-ounce container of quality ground coffee costs around $10 and produces approximately 100 cups at roughly 0.10 CU per cup. A cafe version of the same quantity runs $5 or more per cup. A markup approaching 5,000%. Cold brew concentrate takes 4 minutes of active effort. Coarse grounds, cold water, overnight in the refrigerator. A 32-ounce batch costs $1.50 to $2. The equivalent in ready-to-drink bottles, $15 to $25. The industry's operating theory is that morning cognitive fog prevents the average consumer from ever stopping to do this arithmetic. Once done, the numbers do not go away quietly. We are almost at number 1, and the research we're about to describe has serious implications for your daily routine. If you've made it this far, subscribe right now, like this video, and tell us in the comments which of these items you're buying every week. The top 2 items on this list involve manipulation and contamination that most people have genuinely never encountered. 2. Fresh bakery items. You have almost certainly experienced this without knowing what was causing it. You enter a large grocery store. Within seconds, before you have read a single price tag, before you have consulted your list, before your rational purchasing brain has fully engaged, something shifts. There is warmth. There is the smell of fresh bread, cinnamon, something baking, something home-like and comforting and immediate. And before any conscious decision has been made, you are already thinking about the bakery section. Here is what is actually happening. Many major grocery chains deploy scent diffusion systems that pump synthetic bakery aromas directly through the store's ventilation infrastructure. Not as a byproduct of actual baking, not as an incidental pleasant side effect of a working kitchen, as a deliberate engineered sensory intervention, timed to activate hunger and emotional comfort at the precise moment you enter the store and are most neurologically susceptible to unplanned purchasing decisions. Research from the Scent Marketing Institute documented that artificially circulating fresh bread scent in a grocery environment tripled bakery sales. Not increased, not boosted, tripled. That is one of the most effective forms of covert advertising the retail industry has ever deployed. And the overwhelming majority of consumers experience it dozens of times without ever recognizing it as a system rather than a smell. The profit margins on bakery items justify the investment in the infrastructure. Individual muffins, decorated cookies, and croissants carry margins of 55 to 65%. A $4.50 muffin may represent a raw ingredient cost of under $1.00. You are paying for presentation, packaging, and a sensory manipulation engineered to reach your emotional centers before your reasoning could intervene. Most stores maintain a day-old bakery section where previous day's items are marked down 40 to 50%. The quality difference is negligible. Store-brand baking mixes produce equivalent results at a fraction of the cost. A $229 box yielding the same quantity as a $10 bakery tray. The smell that drew you in was real. The craving it created was manufactured. Understanding the mechanism changes how the experience lands. 1. Bottled water. And here we arrive at the item that makes every other entry on this list look like a minor inconvenience. A standard $2 bottle of water costs its manufacturer approximately $0.05 to produce. That is a markup of 4,000%, and in a significant and documented number of cases, the water inside that bottle is municipally sourced, drawn from the same public supply infrastructure as the water that flows freely from your kitchen faucet. You are paying 4,000% more for water that, in many cases, came from exactly the same place as what you could pour for nothing at home. That financial absurdity has been known for years, but there is a second dimension to the bottled water story that has only recently become possible to document, and it is considerably harder to set aside. A 2024 study from researchers at Columbia and Rutgers universities found that the average 1-liter bottle of commercially sold water contains approximately 240,000 microscopic plastic particles. This figure is 10 to 100 times higher than earlier estimates. Not because contamination has recently worsened, but because scientists have only recently developed instruments capable of detecting the smallest particles, now classified as nanoplastics. These particles are not remaining in the digestive tract and passing through. They are being identified in human lung tissue, breast milk, blood samples, and placental tissue from unborn children. Here is the detail that transforms the bottled water argument from financial to physiological. Emerging research indicates that bottled water frequently contains higher levels of microplastic contamination than municipal tap water. The plastic packaging itself is a contamination source. Particles shed from the bottle's interior surfaces, from the cap mechanism, and from the manufacturing process are entering the water and then entering you. You are paying 4,000% more for a product that peer-reviewed science now suggests may be more contaminated than the free alternative already available in your home.